Get your bare feet in the grass, swim in the natural waters, connect to the energy of the sun, watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, connect to the energy of a pet, a horse, a dog, a cat, touch a plant, smell a flower, let a bee land on you. These are how we can recalibrate. It's the ionic exchange of actually being connected to Mother Earth because we're here, you know?
Well, I'm Patricia Walls, and I am the host of Cosmic Conversations. And the platform itself is hosted through Conscious Awakening Network. I'm honored to be your host beginning today, actually. So for those of you that don't know, Cosmic Conversations airs every Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific, 5:30 Mountain, 6:30 Central, and 7:30 Eastern. We share intimate conversations with visionaries, teachers, healers, artists, and also forward-thinking souls who are actively shaping the new earth. Conscious Awakening Network, or CAN, which is what we're so used to calling it, is a transformational, multidimensional platform devoted to accelerating spiritual evolution, activating your highest potential, and expanding global consciousness. We do that through summits, webinars, and also exclusive programming. CAN brings together a powerful collective of guides and wisdom keepers, supporting multidimensional awakening and embodied truth. I'm waiting for our guest. Our guest today is Aiylah Valkyrie. She's a long-term sister and dear friend of mine, and I'm really looking forward to sharing her with all of you. So if you don't know this already, Conscious Awakening Network has several programs for you to choose from. I'm also honored to be the host of the summits and the workshops, and we have 4 of those. We have those quarterly. We've already had one, so we have 3 of those planned for this year, and we are formulating some other ones, some one-day workshops that are going to be offered for free, I believe. So there's a little extra for all of you. And then Sheila Seppi, who is the founder of Cosmic Awakening Network, has something called the Monday night transmissions, and along with courses that she's offering and live events also that she's a part of. And you can check her out at sheilaseppi.com. So we're just waiting for, there's Aiylah. And welcome, Jen, and everyone else who is here. I can't see everyone's name, but I am going to introduce Aiylah to you, and then I'll bring you on camera, dear one. So Aiylah is, she's a freedom-preneur. She is a mentor, an ascension guide, a yoga teacher, a water priestess devoted to bridging ancient yogi and indigenous wisdom into this new earth. She does that through divine feminine teaching. She's an ordained minister, a Reiki master teacher. And as I mentioned, she's an ERYT 500-hour yoga instructor. She empowers women to create sovereignty in health, wealth, and purpose through conscious business mentorship and sacred embodiment practices. She lives close to nature in Austin with her twin flame, Takata. She coordinates the Temple of the Sacred Heart, and Inner Goddess retreats worldwide. She guides initiates through the Priestess Path, the Yoga for Love online trainings, and also Egyptian mystery schools. I'm excited to share her with all of you. So let me make her a panelist. So if you can, unmute yourself. There you are.
Hi.
How are you?
I am fabulous. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for having me on. And thank you for everybody here at the Conscious Awakening Network for coming to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for being my very first guest
I'm so excited.
on my part of the podcast. And you're going to be talking to us today about a freedom program, correct?
So it's a masterclass and then also some free tools that I have for everybody to help embody your own practices.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, this is a podcast, so we're just going to be having a really nice conversation. And Aiylah and I have those all of the time, and so you guys get to be the fly on the wall to our conversations and to her brilliance. And so, if you don't mind, if you can just start us out, and then
Yeah.
if the audience has any questions, I will jump in and ask you a question or two.
Okay. Well, like she said, I work within the angelic realm and I work within the earthly realms of the shamanic and all the realms between. And this is something that is not said to be a status, it's just how we roll. And this is why I originally connected with Patricia as my elder and as my teacher and as my mentor and my friend. And I had been working in these energies for a couple decades now, probably 25 years, 26 years. I became a Reiki attuned to the energy in 2000, 2001, while my mother was going through breast cancer. And as a connection to her and to help to balance out all of the treatments that was happening to her, my sister, my only sister, and I were really meditating and praying that there's got to be an alternative form of healing. And so that's how I turned to energy work and energy medicine and started practicing Reiki. My mom and I both got level 1 and level 2 together. And then from there, I had been a practicing yogi since I was 19 years old. I'd really been marrying the practice of energy work and Reiki and yoga. And then I started also reading cards for myself. And then just as my own spiritual connection to all the archetypical energies, working within the angelic, working within the earth energies, working within the star seeds energies with all of our cosmic connections to our brothers and sisters of the light. And we're working really deeply within the energies of the highest frequencies of love through the Christ and Sophia consciousness. And that's really been always my parameter, is that I'm working within the frequency of love. And if it's not in the frequency of love, I don't care to talk to y'all. Don't got anything to do with y'all. You can talk to lower level energies, but I'm not going to entertain that. So I reached out to Patricia because I was doing this work and I was like, I just want a mentor and an elder. I just want somebody on this planet, because all of my teachers have been crossed over. They're all gurus. They're all master teachers. They're not on this earth. And I just prayed for somebody that could at least show me some of the ropes. And so I just reached out to Patricia, and I think we was maybe on Facebook or something. Do you remember where we originally connected? Was it on Facebook or somehow?
We originally connected at, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We originally connected at an event, a festival. You were leading yoga there, and
okay.
Yeah, you were leading yoga, and I had a booth selling what I sell. And you were there, and you were just so bright and glowing. And your booth was actually, I think, not far from me. And
That
we just
okay,
struck a
yes.
conversation, and it went from there. But yeah,
I couldn't remember if we were
I
Facebook
got to,
friends first or not, but yes, I
I have
totally
no
remember that
idea.
day. Yes,
Slept since then. I have
slept
no
since then.
idea.
Many moons. This is many moons ago, y'all. Many moons. So I reached out to Patricia because I really desired to commune with an elder in my community, someone that I respect. She makes shamanic drums and does all kinds of really beautiful work within different realms and energy work. And she's just has a vast array of knowledge in the different realms. And so I said, do you want to just meet for Mexican food? And we went and had chips and salsa and talked. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm so glad to have this sisterhood. And so I invited her to come and share some of her teachings. At the time, I had a hot yoga studio near Dallas, and she shared some of her teachings. And we've just developed our relationship since then. For it's been that was 2011, so 50, almost 15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, I remember now. Your daughter came and her friend, and your daughter was just this tiny thing, and now she's a grown
she's
woman.
a
Yeah,
whole woman.
a
Yes,
whole woman. Yeah.
yes, she's about to be 23. So yeah, it's been a beautiful journey to see how we've all evolved and how we've embodied these practices. And so I've really, over the years, kind of taken the eclectic mix of the things that I offer and kind of thrown them all in a ball, and like, okay, so when we meet with somebody, this might be what comes out. We might be talking about angelic channeling, or light language might come out, or this, when we meet with this person, we might be doing some extraction healing and really working with clearing the physical body and the energy body and drums and rattles. And, we might be working with somebody that is needing some more abundance and really wanting to call in another avenue of income and working as a freedom-preneur mentor. And that might be the way to serve, is to help them to be free from the constraints of a 9 to 5, or to find sovereignty. I work with a lot of women who do not have their own independence, and they don't have autonomy, and they've gotten into a place where they're stuck in a role, whether they're a caretaker or a mother or a wife, or unemployed, and what require a vehicle to get from point A to point B, to find a place to work within their dreams and to pull those visions into reality. And so I offer, as a high ticket affiliate marketer, I offer a vehicle to get from point A to point B. So that might be how I work with people. Another way is that I working with the cards. I read cards. I've read cards for over 20 years, and I started reading professionally when I moved to Austin, Texas. And we now have a metaphysical shop here at a beautiful place called Casa de Luz, called La Lighthouse. And so La Lighthouse was born. It's going to be a year old next month.
Doesn't seem like that long, really.
Yes.
So,
So we're a
so
co-op.
talk to us about your red tent events. Those are amazing.
Yes. So we work within some of y'all might have read the book, The Red Tent. If I'm preaching to the choir, some of y'all might know. You can drop a yes in the comments or a thumbs up in the comments. And the Red Tent is a movement. It's a global movement based on the teachings of Anita Diamante, or Diamant, and she wrote a book called The Red Tent. The Red Tent is a fictional portrayal of the actual indigenous medicinal tribal time where we would all be together when we bleed. And as women, as daughters of the moon, and moving with the tides. And so we would have together in one teepee or one tent or one long hall. What are those places called? They were called the long room or whatever. The long, where the big boards, where I see it. And we would all sit
The
in
Longhouse.
the longhouse. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's what I was seeing. And we would all be together no matter what the weather. There was nursing babies and toddlers, but then there was no other children. This was the time for the men to take care of the other children. And the women were in ceremony because we were bleeding. And we would bleed together, and we would pray together, and we would cry together, and we would make crafts, and we would cook, but we would not cook for ourselves, for the men. We would just cook to be of service to our own self. And we would be served. This would be a time for the men to serve the women and the elders, where the moon had gone within and there was no blood any being shed. The wisdom that was embodied would be shared with the matrons and the maidens. And so this is a time for us to share our medicines, to come together as a village. And so this is something that we hold here in Austin every 6 weeks based on the Celtic medicine wheel of the year, the equinoxes, the solstices, and then the 4 Sabbats between. And we hold space for women to come and commune together in person. And I believe I'm probably going to go ahead and bring this offering online as a ritual to do as an online practice, because we have so many people in our online community that I'm being called to bring this into a place where we also can commune kind of as a temple tea together. And this is new information, Patricia. This just came in. So here I am saying this on national podcast.
We get it
You heard
first.
it here first.
Yeah, everything is not everything, but so much is online now because it's convenient since the lockdown, right? It's
Right.
just become convenient to do everything online. And you actually, I mean, there are benefits to that. There was a lot talked about, with the lockdown, but there was a benefit to it. We grew. We were forced to isolate and go within and listen and rebuild our relationship to self and raise our resonance vibratory rate. And
Our
you
network
huge part of that
changed,
because
our
yeah, because
constellation.
yeah, I remember that you took your yoga teachings and you put them online, right?
Yes,
And a lot of people had to do that, but I think you were probably one of the first in our
we
community.
did.
Yeah,
We pioneered that.
that started offering your yoga courses online. I mean, the only
Yeah,
thing you can't offer online is your plant medicine services,
right.
but everything else, you're available no matter where you are, because you do tend to float around and experience other people, places, and things. And so
Yeah. We're definitely a
um,
lot more grounded. We've rooted down in Austin, Texas as our home base now.
okay.
So since we actually have a physical shop here, we're planning on using this space and this land as our home base. And as you know, but a lot of the watchers here and the podcast may not know, that Takata and I, my twin flame and I, were semi-nomadic for 4 years. We moved 10 times in 4 years. And then we
Right.
really landed. And so here we are. And we also do travel. We hold inner goddess retreats where we can travel to different locations, and we hold places in where we hold a temple space wherever we go. So we are doing an India retreat this year. If you're interested in that, you can get on my newsletter at aiylavalkyrie.com and just join the newsletter so you can know what's going on. That way you'll know if we have a red tent coming up. Everyone on my newsletter gets invited to those things first. If you're watching me on Instagram or something like that, it's, you never know what people see. The algorithm is super weird, and it's also very picky, and who knows what people see. But email, it's going to get in your inbox. You might have to check your spam from Water Wealth Goddess. Make sure it comes into your inbox. But other than that, it's going to land there and you're going to get, notified. And I feel like bringing people offline into a more temple space, whether it's in a personal email or whether it's on a podcast or whether it's at an in-person event, is really where we're headed, because social media is shifting and changing right now so much. And we want to bring people to a place where we can actually connect in real time. And that's the goal, is to find people that are of resonance, share what we do, and then find where there's an alignment and a collaboration. So that's why we're here.
So you said it was Water Wealth. Was there a website?
Aiylah Valkyrie, Aiylah.
Yeah, but there's not a website for Water Wealth, right?
It's all on there. It's all on aiylavalkyrie.com.
Okay. I put it in the chat.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yes. And Water Wealth Goddess is my Instagram and all my handles on all my socials. So it's Water Wealth Goddess. So
And
those are
talk to us about you've already done some retreats. You've already facilitated, I think you facilitated one in, I know Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
But there were others. Where were the others that you facilitated?
Okay. Yeah. So I've done three retreats in Hawaii, and that was super fun. The first one was in 2017, and then the next one was in 2019, and then the last one was in 2021 with my twin flame Takata. And so we have also, I did a retreat in Egypt in 2021. And then I did a Costa Rica retreat in 2024. And then I just recently did a Bali retreat in 2025. And then this year we're going to India.
Oh, wow. Are you going back to Egypt anytime soon? There are a lot of people being drawn to Egypt and Peru right now.
Yes, yes, I am. And so right now we don't have a date, but we are going to be going to Egypt in 2027. We're still deciding whether we're going to be going there during the great eclipse or where we're called to be during the great eclipse. But Egypt is going to be 2027 for sure. And then we're also being called to Japan. So I'm not sure what that looks like yet for Japan, but for right now, we are planning India for September. And we're really excited. It's going to be an Ayurvedic retreat. A detox retreat is on a farm from a dear sacred sister of ours in South India. We're going to visit some of the sacred temples there. We're going to have a handmade clothing experience where we can make our own garments or have our own garments made. And then we're going to do a 3-day detox complete with Abhyanga massage and Ayurvedic food. And then at the end of the retreat, we're going to visit some of the temples. And then we'll have an add-on at the end to go to Mumbai and have a whole weekend in one of the busiest, craziest cities in the world and do some nightlife and some dancing in Mumbai before heading back.
Oh, yeah. And you were also a presenter at one of the summits that I hosted, the Woven in Light Summit.
I did. I'm
Yeah,
going to
that
drop
was,
my link there too for
oh,
y'all.
good, good. Yeah, that was fun. And people can purchase the replay. I think it's like $88. It's not much. They can
That was an
purchase
amazing
that
conference.
on consciousawakeningnetwork.com. And um, what do you see going on right now in the cosmos for people? What growth, um, what evolvement, what shifts are you seeing? Is there anything that you want to
Well,
share with us?
yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. How long do we have?
We have an hour, so we have
Okay.
another 45
Oh,
minutes.
good. We can go
Yeah,
deep into this topic. I'm so
yeah.
excited. Great. Well, what's happening right now is that we're the bridge. We're here to bridge the connections from the Piscean Age to the Aquarian Age. And we are literally, our human body is the embodiment of the light codes that are happening on the planet right now. So, for those of you that are wondering, what do I do? What do I need to do? You don't have to do anything. The beauty is right now, you simply being born into this human body right now is enough. Even if you didn't do anything else for the rest of your life, you incarnating right now is enough. You are enough. You don't have to do anything. But there's things we can do to help really shift. But I really felt a deep call to make sure that each and every one of you watching this knows that by simply showing up on this planet, no matter what you do and accomplish, that's not why we're here. We're not here for the accolades or for the should have, could have, would have. Don't should on yourself. You showed up, and that is enough. And if you want to embody deepening that awakening, there's lots of things that we can do as light workers, as energy workers, as healers, as bridges between those energies. But what we do in our everyday life may sometimes feel disconnected to what we feel like we should be doing, and there's this weird sense of urgency. Have you noticed that right now? Like people feel like I have to be doing. So
Part
yeah,
of that is, yeah, part of that though is the unconscious collective or the
right.
collective unconsciousness. That's part of that. Yeah.
And people feel that pressure or that separation because what's happening is we're moving through a series of octaves of energy. And I've been told we're moving through almost 4 octaves. It was 3. Now we're moving into 4 octaves. So we can be really, really, really high, and then we can be really, really, really low. And if you do not have an embodiment practice that grounds you into the earth and that keeps you fully present, and that really you can count on to regulate your nervous system, you could get very easily thrown out of whack. And so, what's the most important thing you can do right now? Get outside, hug a tree, get your bare feet in the grass, swim in the natural waters, connect to the energy of the sun, watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, connect to the energy of a pet, a horse, a dog, a cat, touch a plant, smell a flower, let a bee land on you. These are how we can recalibrate. It's the ionic exchange of actually being connected to Mother Earth because we're here, you know? So, what good does it do if we are all up here swirly, swirly in these practices that are not embodied? Now is the time for us to embody these practices. And so, as we embody, we need tools. And so, some of the tools that we can use right now are breath work, yoga, qigong, eating right, Ayurvedic food, eating for balance, not for craving, hydrating with really high frequency water. Molecular, I teach a lot about molecular hydrogen and the consciousness of water, and working with the water to it really help us embody the light, because water is literally just light slowed down. So everything is light. And for us to connect and calibrate our own light bodies, then it's really, really important for us to have these high frequency practices, energy elevators that we can do. So, do you have any favorite practices, Patricia, that you would like to share? And then I could share some of mine.
This is about you.
Okay. All right. Well,
I was thinking though, and this is going to prompt you because I know you. I was thinking about dead water, dead food, that
yeah.
sometimes by the time that we get water, it's dead. Bottled water is dead water,
Yeah. Yep.
but you and I know a practice to reinvigorate that water, to bring
Yes.
it back to the original vibration. So I would like to ask you to share that with everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be my honor. So, yes, so there's lots of different practices that we can do to elevate our energy. You know, um, we can do affirmations, we can, do breath work, we can sit in meditation, we can listen to sound healing or solfeggio frequencies. But one of the quickest and most important elements that we can connect to is water, because water is a living element. All the elements are living. They're not just, oh, that's just a fire over there. No, that's alive. Like that is grandfather abuelo. He is, Agni. He is alive. He will speak to you. Like if you stare at the fire and watch the logs burn and they kind of turn into looking like dragons and making all these kind of shapes, that's real. That's spirit talking to us through the fire. And the same thing happens with the water. We can watch the light codes as the sun hits the water and watch those codes, because those are codes from our sun moving through these solar waves through our cosmos to bring us the information that we need to recalibrate our light body. Our light body is our Merkaba, our light vehicle body. The Merkaba looks like an upward facing triangle, which is the symbol of fire. and the downward facing triangle, which is the symbol of water, but it's multidimensional. So it spins in opposite directions, just like our chakras spin, and they're not just red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. That's my chakras. That's extremely kindergarten and extremely rudimentary, and it's not accurate. It's westernized. So when we're moving through the energies of our bodies, we have to figure out that we're connecting to something that is multidimensional, breathing in and out through the web of life, through the web of consciousness. I love when we have a background on because our hands, like, it has like tracers, like literally that's how we move through the cosmos, So when we're working with water, we are working with a living element. This is the element of connection to the element that's closest to the earth. One of the practices that many of us have done for many, many years is grounding into the earth, sitting on the mat, meditating, praying, grounding into the element of the earth. But one of the things that we have not really acknowledged in a lot of embodied practices is that we are also grounding into the element of water. And that's actually more accurate than grounding simply into the element of earth, because we are water, our planet is water, and we are molecularly 98% water. And if the water that we're drinking into our being is dead, or we're eating food that is dead or so far removed from prana, from chi, from ki, from mana, from life force energy, what do you think it's doing to you on a cellular level? And what do you think it's doing to us on a DNA level? So there's a programming, and it's all in perfect timing. I'm not going to be doom and gloom here because we all signed up. We all signed up for it. We're here for it. Like I said, you signed up to embody your body at this time, and that's absolutely perfect. And it does seem like there is this shift in these octaves of energy where some are residing on this really, really low vibe, war and famine and all of the terrible things that are happening through this world that we can see if we turn on the news, and it's programmed to be even more glamorized and repeated and over and over and over, because through the low frequency food, through the low frequency water, through all of the doom and gloom and the terrible news, what happens to your frequency? It goes down into that lowest octave. And if you don't have proper tools, you cannot get out. You can't. And that might be your karma. That might be why you're here, is to finish out that life path and to be in that vibration. If you're on this call, I'm not talking to you. It's not you, but you can pray for these people. And that's one of the things that we can do, is pray over the water. I am shameless about saying, yes, we are going to pray. We are going to connect to God, life force, source, great spirit, whatever that is greater than yourself, because we are not just this body. This body is just, in a couple of years, going to be completely different molecules. Within 3 years, every single molecule in our body, every single cell is going to be completely turned over and changed. And you won't even be literally physically the same person. And so there's a lot of false information that things like diabetes and any of the itises are genetic, because you literally change your cells every 36 months. You can rewrite your story based on your frequency. And how do you raise your frequency? Practices, embodiment, prayer, being in joy, not choosing to watch those crappy news shows. We have to choose to turn it off and go outside and watch the sunset. That's your TV. Watching the
I've
light through
also,
the trees.
yeah, I've also seen you put Celtic salt in your water. Do you want to, can you tell everybody why you do that and what changes, how it changes the structure of the water?
Well, whenever we put a crystal in our water, and salt is literally a crystal, and the Celtic salt or the Himalayan salt has 84 minerals in it. So we're adding a living force, a crystal, even though it seems like it's dead, it's inorganic because it's not living and breathing, but it is still alive. Every stone person on this planet is still alive. They just move really, really slow. Sometimes it takes millennia for our stone people to move, and some of them may never move. And that's why they're here. They're here to be steady, like a mountain. But a salt comes from a crystal that comes from the earth. And every time we put a crystal into our water, we shift the molecular structure of the water. And whenever we pray over the water, we shift the crystalline structure of the water. And this study is based on studies from Dr. Emoto. And Dr. Emoto did these studies in the 50s on the water. And originally, the company that I work for, or work with, I should say, as partnership for a vehicle for abundance, is working through the element of water. And the company is a 50-year-old Japanese company. And this company works deeply with the intention of shifting the frequency of water. And the first intention was to make the water alkaline. 50 years ago, when this was a concept, and I think 35 years ago, there was a machine developed to make the water alkaline. It's called Kangen, or returning to source, returning it to its natural structure. And so the idea was to make it alkaline, but the byproduct was that it made molecular hydrogen. And molecular hydrogen is the building block of this universe. The building block is the first element on the periodic table. I did not learn about the periodic table in 7th grade because I cheated on the test. I stuck a note card in, wrote so tiny, and I wrote it and I stuck it in my sleeve. I'm never going to use that crap. Well, here I am teaching you about science in the periodic table. That's funny, Loop, right? And the reason is because science is actually the other bridge to consciousness. It leads to the same place. It's called quantum physics. And so we are working within the element of the physics of this realm, but we're also working with the elements that are on the chart. And the first one is molecular hydrogen. And so when we're working with that, the hydrogen itself actually passes the blood-brain barrier. It fully hydrates us. And when we work with the product that I work with, which creates a living, charged ionic vehicle for that water to enter your body, then you're actually drinking living life force water, which is called Kangen. And you can get living life force water if you drink from a waterfall, drink from a spring that comes straight out of the earth, if you drink rain straight from the source. But the problem is pollution. Our earth is so polluted that it's not safe to drink unless you're high up on a mountaintop in Costa Rica. I was told, yes, it's absolutely safe here. I prayed and asked, Spirit, can I please drink some water from this water faucet that's coming out of the mountain? And Spirit's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, okay, God, because I'm so thirsty. And it was the best, coldest water. And, you know, whenever you can be in a natural waterfall like that, you're in that ionic exchange. You're completely immersing yourself in the source energy and charging every molecule of your being. And if we can do that every single day, which was what is intended for, is for us to drink water that is fully alive and fully charged, so we can be at our highest life force and then do the things that we want to do in the world, even though we don't have to, and there's no shoulds. Also, we want to bring our services and our offerings, and we want to be of the highest frequency when we do this work, when we bring the information that we're here to bring. And it helps us to match the frequency of those that we're here to align with and meet.
So does that bring up any questions for anyone? Is there anything that you would like to ask Aiylah about that? please put it in the chat. We love questions. Give us some questions. Give
Yes,
her a
absolutely.
challenge. She's up for it.
I'm here to answer questions, absolutely. And if you're catching the replay, you can also send me a DM on any of my social platforms, which are all Water Wealth Goddess. And I also have tons of trainings on abundance and things like that on my YouTube channel. So if you don't really have the tools, or you want to activate or elevate or bring yourself into a higher state of being, then I do have tons of free stuff. I have so many free yoga classes, breathworks, activations, and master classes on my YouTube as well. So let's talk about how we can get ourselves into an elevated state, because this is the state we need to be in when we're doing this highest work, right? So does anyone have any questions that you saw, or should we go ahead and move on to the next topic?
I was just going to put your social links in the chat. No one
Okay.
has asked a question. They're all so nice tonight. They're all so shy.
It's
Aiylah
okay.
and I are not shy. I was thinking when you were talking about drinking live water sources, I'm moving around. I am known for drinking water out of ponds and rivers and
Yeah.
and whatever. I've never been shy about that. And I've never I'm still here. I'm not dead yet. Never gotten sick, although it is not so safe. But I just bless the
Yeah.
water. I just
You
bless it.
bless the
So
water.
I bless it and I give thanks for it before I take it into my body.
She says she has no
Yeah.
questions. She's just enjoying the show. Oh, that's
Thank you,
Shannon.
Jen.
Appreciate y'all here
So
for being here.
So yeah, I'm going to put your social links in here, but you were going to share something with us, and please
Yeah.
do share some light language if you feel called to do that.
Absolutely. I dropped in the chat the link to my free master classes. So there's a link there that you can find the link on aiylavalkyrie.com, but I shared the direct link to receive my free master classes. And so I have a series of master classes that I do every year. You'll be on the email list to receive those, and you'll get notified for when I do have free teachings coming up. I have one coming up called Embodied Wealth, the true wave of wellness. And so this is how we embody ourselves through our purpose, through our freedom, through our wealth, through aligned embodiment, and feeling the call to awaken. If you're feeling the call to remember who you are, if you're feeling the call at a deeper level to rise up and show up, and you're figuring out what that vehicle looks like, how to get from here to there, how to shift your life to be in this place from here to there, and what I call quantum leap, then these master classes are for you. So yeah, you want us to talk a little bit about what next?
Sorry, I'm
Did you have
putting
a
your
question?
links in. Putting your
Oh, okay.
links in.
Okay, I
Um,
no
oh,
questions.
Richard says he sees a purple aura around you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Richard. That's exciting. I love
Okay,
it when people can see
there's
aura.
your links.
Beautiful. Yes.
I was multitasking. I can't just do
That's
one
okay.
thing at a time.
Y'all
Uh,
can copy and paste those, so when the Zoom closes, you'll have them. We'd love to connect on a DM, or I also have a podcast as well. So I'm looking for guests to share on podcasts as well for future connections. Um, Embodiment practices is what we were kind of on topic with. Do you want to continue talking about that?
yes, please. I'm gonna put my microphone mute for a second.
Okay, perfect.
Talk away.
So embodiment is really when we're quantum leaping from point A to point B. We're using the practices or the tools that we have to bring in our highest visions. We're envisioning that future self. We're envisioning the seeds that have been planted within our heart, and coming into that place of gestation where we're just now, as we're recording this, came from 6 weeks ago, the winter solstice. And right now, we're here at Imbolc, or Candlemas, St. Bridget's Day, which is on a portal day here that we're meeting, which is no coincidence at all, of course. And then we're literally 6 weeks exactly from spring equinox. So we're still within that place of the womb. And I have a mystery school that I share these teachings with my beloved Takata, called the Egyptian Mystery School Mentorship. And this is where we offer deep rituals, teachings, and embodiment practices. And I'm going to give you a little takeaway because I would just shared a whole hour and a half about that right before I jumped on this podcast. So we're in this convergence of these three types of energies of Candlemas, St. Bridget, the Celtic fire, and the energy of Tu Bi Sharaf, which is the embodiment of the Kabbalah and the tree of life. And so right at this moment where we're between the solstice and the equinox, between the Yule and the spring, we're still within that space of the womb. And we're allowing the seeds to germinate, and they're starting to get warm, and they're starting to maybe crack out of their little chrysalis. But before we can crack out of our little chrysalis and emerge above the surface of the earth, we must first be embodied in the womb and turn to cosmic goo, turn to just completely be liquefied and be nothingness and be in that place of complete and total darkness and surrender. And we may not know what's happening as we move into this next chapter and phase of our life. But as we do, as we move closer to the spring equinox, we're going to start seeing more action. And it's not right now, is literally like right now, it's not a time to take action. It's still a place to drop within our being according to the medicine wheel of the year, which is the cycle of the 13 moon, the 1320, which is the Mayan calendar, not the 1260, which is the distorted calendar, which brings us purposefully out of rhythm. So when you work with the equinoxes and the solstices, you will also notice that sacred sites all over the world are aligned with these portal days. It's no accident. Patricia travels to sacred sites, and she's going to Avalon this year. So that's so exciting. And she's been to Egypt. I've been to Egypt, Bali, and there are structures that are specifically aligned to shine the light either of the stars or the light of the sun, to come through certain passageways or portals to activate these keys. And these keys are activated within us when we do practice these rituals based on the equinoxes and the solstices and the 4 Sabbats between. And so in this time that we're recording, which is the place of Candlemas, we're just barely feeling the inklings of spring. So we're down to the last potatoes in the bin. It seems like it's a real hard winter, and it's just at the very edge of our food supply. And if you imagine 100, 200 years ago without electricity, that's a very, very frightening moment where we could really drop into a place of fear, not having enough, not knowing if we're going to make it to spring. But yet here comes that little tiny blade of grass through the snow. And here comes a baby goat being born, and the mother starts to flow her milk. And then here comes the little daylily popping through the soil, through the ice to emerge. And these are all hopes that the energy of spring will return and that the abundance is already here. The future visions that we have right now, which are in this Leo full moon, 6 months from now, we'll be in the sign of Leo, heading towards Lionsgate, full solar energy in the northern hemisphere, and full winter energy in the southern hemisphere. And we're moving in this complete and total balance. So how do we get ourselves into these rhythms? We watch the sunrise. We watch the sunset. We set times every single day to sit outside and meditate, to drop within. I have a timer that goes off on my phone, and it's called the Triple Flame. I love it. It's made from Richard Rudd from the Gene Keys. If any of y'all are a fan, love that timer. And it will remind you to drop in, to pause, to breathe. It doesn't take a whole lot to raise our frequency, but it takes intentionality. And through that, all we need is that future vision, that tiny seed that's planted right now in this space of the gestation of the womb, that tiny little seed. And then we can see what we're planting, and we can see our future visions. And those tiny visions only have to be the size of a mustard seed. So tiny, the mustard seed, but it becomes one of the largest shrubs of the herb family. And that's what it says biblically, is that it takes the faith of a mustard seed. That's all it takes, that tiny bit of faith, to know that our vision that we had is ordained. When we have a vision, it's literally manifest into our third eye as an image and manifest in our heart as a feeling. And so for us to attain those things, then we simply tap into that feeling and tap into that vision, knowing that it's already here. And faith is the ability to tap in to that belief of things that are yet not seen. It's easy to be thankful and grateful for things that are already here. But you'll hear me teach all the time that faith is truly dropping in, and it only takes enough faith of that tiny little mustard seed, that tiny little faith, to know that we were given that vision because it's already manifest on some reality. And so I'm going to circle this back to motherhood. And so motherhood, dropping into the womb space, connecting to our mother, connecting to our earth mother, connecting to our grandmother, our great grandmother, our great great grandmother. And as women, we are all daughters. We're not all mothers, but we're all daughters. As men, we are all sons. We're not all fathers, we're all sons. But we, as an embodiment of whatever we consider this human experience, we were a seed, an egg, or a sperm from the beginning of time. We already existed within our grandmother's womb. We were already here. Mind-blowing, can't even fathom, but this proves that everything is an infinite loop. It's all happening, everything, everywhere, all at once. Highly recommend that movie, by the way. Have you seen it, Patricia? It's super trippy. You're going to be like, oh, this explains everything, because and it's a good one.
Yeah, I tried. I did try, but I could not. And that happens with us sometimes. It's when our frequency is not aligned with something, we can't watch it. And if we push ourselves, we go to sleep.
Yeah.
While we're watching it, we go to sleep, or we get nervous and agitated. So I've learned to listen. It's not to say that I won't be able to pick it up in a month or even a year, but I did try at one point to watch that.
It is complex, and it takes you on this loop and on this loop and on this loop, and then it brings it all back. And if you can stay with it, it's like, oh my God, this explains everything. And some of us don't need to watch it to know that, so there's that too. But it's really great validation, and it's sometimes Hollywood can be such a really interesting mirror to the divine, and used as a tool for divine to play out some of the archetypical energies that are happening within humanity on the collective. So watch some of the things that are happening in media, and just notice that there's some really deep themes that are dropped in as a basic storyline, but then you're like, whoa, I really get that on a whole nother level. So anyway, as I was saying, everything, everywhere, all at once, when we zoom out and see that we were a seed within a seed within a seed within a seed, we can see that we're not here just for this one moment in time. Even though this incarnation, it's really important that we find our path, we find our purpose, we find our mission, so we can fulfill what we're here to do. And if you're constantly doing things that are out of frequency, out of alignment, and you're hating your job, or you're unhappy, or you're in a marriage that's really abusive, or you fought with your children and haven't talked to your children in years, or there's so many things that can bring us out of alignment and these are karmic lessons. But if we're here to finish up this mission and wrap up this mission, we have to figure out what is our highest purpose. How can we get back into alignment so we can relieve ourselves from all of those situations that are causing suffering, so we can actually be here to reside on the highest timeline and reside on the highest frequency. And it doesn't mean those other things aren't going to carry out, because they do. They're going to, on some level, they're going to finish out their trajectory. And it doesn't mean that you have to ride that spaceship with it, right? We can rise above. And that's what we're here to do, is teach others how to rise above, how to bring ourselves into a frequency of love, a frequency of coherence, heart coherence, and be in that frequency where we can deeply connect to others that are also carrying out the mission on this planet. So it's an honor to do this work. It's an honor to be here at this time.
And you have you have such a full toolbox too. You know, so many things that you can share with people. And I see other practitioners out there who focus on just one thing, and that's okay. That's their alignment, right? But I like filling my toolbox,
Yeah.
you know, because when people come to me, I just pull whatever I'm led to. I just pull that out, you know. And Reiki, for instance, you know, Reiki was great, but there were people coming to me that couldn't align with Reiki. You
Yeah.
know, they didn't get it. And so I would pull hypnosis out of the box. And what about this? How does this work? And or I would pull, you know, activations out, or light language, or, you know, emotrance or EFT. And so I am so happy to see that you are constantly learning, constantly expanding, and moving with the energy, because again, dead energy doesn't do anything for us. We have to be in constant movement. We have to be listening all of the time, and aligning with whatever brings us joy and happiness. That's what
Yeah,
shifts everything, doesn't it? I
absolutely.
heard
And the
something
highest
earlier.
frequency.
Sheila Seppi. I forgot what I was listening to, one of her programs, and she mentioned, and I knew this, but I didn't know it in words, right? And sometimes it helps to hear it in words. But she mentioned that the higher that our frequency, the higher that our vibratory rate is, we are reversing an age.
Oh yeah, I'd
And
say I'm aging in reverse all the time. I'm
yeah,
literally reverse aging. People are like, "How old are you?" And people think I'm in my 30s or 40s. I am 53. I'm a
right.
grandmother. I'm a nana now.
Yeah,
I have bloodline that's coming forward in this planet, and it's so amazing and so beautiful. But
yeah,
when we do work with living food and living water, we can reverse the aging. And there's a set point where you can take a test and see what you're aging out at. And you can change that to actually have your set point be way less than the actual years you've been on this planet. And it is possible. It is like literally drinking from the fountain of youth, you know? And when we're working with living water, we are working with the energy of consciousness itself.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Because I'm 70, you know, I'll be 71 next month. And
Wow.
so, yeah, and I attribute it to, first of all, moisturizing, but, but second of all, doing the work, you know, doing the work to keep my frequency high, and keeping my thoughts and my vibration pure. You know, I
Yes.
really work at that.
Yes, it starts with our thoughts.
So,
And that's the thing. That's the key to everything, is our thoughts,
yeah,
because that's the thing that manifests first. When we're working with consciousness, things always manifest in a thought, and then we speak it, and then we do it. And so that is the order of manifestations in this physical reality. And what that means, thoughts are things. and everything is a seed, and every seed comes to germination. So I would love to speak some light language and offer some codes for everyone watching, and then offer a little journaling prompt and then a free gift. How does that sound?
Sounds amazing. I'm up for it. I'm going to mute myself so I don't have
Okay.
all the background interrupting you.
So today I was told, was when she mentioned light language, that I would share a drop in for each of you that are here catching this either live on this call or in a future timeline whenever you catch this podcast. Welcome. And so just take a moment just to drop in. This is information for you from your highest self. I'm simply the vehicle that this energy is coming through. And I'm just going to ask them to drop in. Take some nice, long, deep breaths. I was told that if you're driving, you don't want to listen to this while you're driving. So you might want to pause. In your honore aikira ayama dikira. Inaira ima kiai anonoi ai kai. And ea maka and arora ama aniti and garaya and oi. Uno kaea nti nga antoria. Yanton no ko oya. Ina I maka anena o turu ai maka ai. Inchaya andoko onoya aya ea ma. Nyono kono iti managa andungo ua. Inya anena kai antoto. Unto ungaena mama ena ka ama yantung uunda inyatara. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bringing your hands to your heart space to embody this light if it resonates with you. Bringing your gaze to your third eye. Dropping into the breath. And then bringing this into our being, just placing the hands over the heart, over the solar plexus, the sacral, and down to the root, and then just placing the hands on the legs and knees, ankles and feet if you can, touching the surface that you're sitting on or the floor or the earth, and grounding it down. So anytime we work within gridding or coding, we're bringing in a little thread of light. Basically, we're just like pulling in this little thread of light from the cosmos. And we're shifting the DNA for our own being. We're also shifting the DNA for the planet, Mama Gaia, because she is a conscious being. So thank you so much for joining the light language transmission today. And I would love to invite you each to visit my website, AiyillahValkyrie.com, and click on the freebies. I have some free offerings there. And then I also have some master classes for you as well. So you can click on that and sign up for my free master classes as well under the trainings. So I am so happy that we had this opportunity to hang out and talk and meet everybody. And we'll check the chat one more time to see if there's any live questions.
Yeah, please. We're just wrapping it up. So if you have a question for Aiylah, we would love for you to ask it now. We look forward to questions.
Thank you so much for being here. I am most active on Instagram, so I do a lot on there and on my YouTube. So we can connect, and I would love to work with you. I do private sessions, but most often I do larger teachings through my online training programs. I have a 200-hour yoga teacher training, a 500-hour yoga teacher training, a shamanic practitioner training, a Reiki master path, going from level 1, level 2 into master practitioner, and an internship path for Reiki, as well as our Egyptian mystery school. And that's my high level offering, where it's a 13-month program to work deeply within the teachings of the Egyptian mystery school with myself and Takata in a very small, intimate container. And then we also have some free groups, some Facebook groups and things like that that you can join us, where we can share and just connect as well as network together.
So there were some comments over there. You can probably see them.
So yes, thank you for your time, the beautiful talk. I am in Austin, Texas. I have a metaphysical shop.
Oh, I
here.
don't know why I put Houston. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Austin, Texas, capital.
Maybe you're going to Houston.
We have lots of community down there, so it wouldn't be a surprise to go down there and visit. Houston, Austin, San Antonio community is very interwoven, but most of my community is through our Water Wealth Tribe Global Soul Family, because we have such a vast array of beautiful people connected all over the world through this water. And so you can join that group for free, and all of the links are on my website.
So remind me, there is a festival that's held down in the Austin area. Is it once or twice a year? And the Medicine for the People?
There's a Medicine for the People gathering, and it is a gathering that is spring and fall. So you can just Google Medicine for the People, and it's a beautiful space for community. Takata and I usually go and set up our booth. I will teach an opening ceremony, and I will be at the opening ceremony offering and sharing, and then also I usually do an embodiment practice. Takata is a DJ, so she will DJ. I'm a fire performer, so you might see us on stage. But we also will set up a booth where you can come into our temple space and connect live at that festival. We're going to be there in the spring this year, but we're not going to be there in the fall because we're going to be in India. So if you want to join us on any of those,
but
that would be awesome.
Spring is right around the corner.
It really is. 6 weeks away. Exactly.
Exactly. I've never attended that, but I've heard so many amazing things about it.
It's the 15-year anniversary.
You know? Has it been that long?
It's been going for 15 years. I also host festivals and gatherings, and I started partnering with them back in 2021. And then we are also having a small festival spring and at our metaphysical shop. And so that is another offering that we have for the local community.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us so much information for the light language blessing. And what did you say about a journal prompt before I end?
Oh, yeah. So the journaling prompt is the Dream Life Guidebook. And so I want to share with you, I'll drop that in the chat. I'm not sure if Patricia had the link there, but I'm going to share that for you.
Okay.
So the Dream Life Guidebook, and this is one of my favorite things to offer, because this is something that I've been doing. It's a practice that I've been doing for over, 15 years. This is a practice where we drop into looking at all the different areas of our life. And we take and kind of make a conglomeration of all of those different areas and make some visions and some aspirations, as well as a definition of what that means to play that role in this lifetime. And it includes different practices. It has a magical script practice. It has lots of different journaling practices in there. And so on my website, you can see it there on the freebies page. It's the Dream Life Guidebook. And let me see if I can just get that exact link for those of you that want that one. Dream Life, where is it? Dream Life Notebook, Guidebook. Oh, okay. Bear with me just a second. But if you want to go ahead and wrap up, I'll put that here at the end. AiylahValkyrie.com under the freebies. But if you want that exact link, if you stay on, I'll drop that exact link.
Yeah, I want people to have time to extract that for themselves.
Beautiful.
So I just want to encourage everybody to check back. I offer this podcast once a week, every Tuesday, and there are new presenters every week. And let me see. Next week, we have Siren Wind. You'll really enjoy her as well. She works with galactic frequencies and tones and holographs. So check back next Tuesday, February 10th, for Siren. And we have a full guest list all the way through the end of May. We have someone lined up every week through the end of May, some amazing speakers. So I hope that you will come back every week, and you can always get them on the replay. And the good news is this is free. There's no reason not to come on, right?
Beautiful.
So I want to thank you for joining us for today's Cosmic Conversation here on Conscious Awakening Network. And I hope that something that Aiylah shared with you today resonated in your body. I know it did. Your heart and your inner knowing, not just for information, but for remembrance, to cue you to remember who you are and what your sovereignty is. And so if you'd like to continue your journey with CAN, I invite you to explore our upcoming summits, free webinars, and transformational programming created to support your awakening and embodiment. Our next summit is April 4th and 5th, and I'll be hosting that as well. You can find that on Conscious Awakening Network. And if you feel called to even deepen your connection more through energetic alignment and multidimensional support, I warmly invite you to join Sheila with her Monday night transmissions. And you can find that information and also her courses. You can find that on SheilaSeppi.com. So I'm Patricia Walls, and this is my sister Aiylah Valkyrie. And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Cosmic Conversations. So until next time, stay open, stay sovereign, and keep listening to the wisdom within yourself. So please be sure and capture all of those amazing links. And we will see you the next time. Thank you.